Agile adoption is not just about restructuring of teams, practicing Agile ceremonies, using Agile tools, changing workspace layout, Agile trainings, etc. Sure, these are much needed aspects of an Agile adoption. However, there is another very crucial factor that determines how successful an Agile adoption will be and whether it will sustain. And that is the leadership style or the leadership approach in the organization. Now, when I say leadership, I'm not just referring to the senior leaders, the executives, the directors, the VPs, the big title holders. I'm also referring to the functional managers, such as the development team managers, the testing team managers, the product owner team managers, etc. So leadership refers to anyone in the organization that can influence behaviors. Before proceeding further, I do want to mention that leadership is a very vast topic and cannot be adequately covered in one course, let alone one lecture. My goal in this lecture is to provide an overview of some of the mainstream leadership styles and approaches that have proven to be effective in leading Agile organizations, or for that matter, in leading any modern organization that depends on knowledge workers to do creative, conceptual work to produce products and services. So what sort of a leadership style or approach proves valuable or effective in sustaining an Agile adoption? In general, when it comes to overall leadership styles, there are primarily three: leading from the front, leading from the middle, and leading from behind. Let's talk about each one briefly. Leading from the front. This was pretty much the most dominant leadership style for much of recorded human history. This type of leader relies heavily on directing or commanding people. This style is mostly about getting people to do what he or she wants them to do by issuing diktats or edicts. Such a leader needs to have authority or title to be effective. Such a leader typically believes that leaders are born and that they have special traits which cannot be learned. Such a leader believes that it is his or her job to not only set the vision and the mission, but also provide minute micro directions to the team on how to get there. Such a leader is not comfortable with dissent, views team as subordinate, and generally believes that he or she knows the best in most situations. This leadership style is mostly seen in hierarchical organizations that need strict command and control to operate. Organizations such as the military, the Air Force, Navy, Special Ops, etc. This leadership style can also be commonly seen in large financial institutions. However, most modern product and services firms that need knowledge workers to do conceptual and creative work are steering away from this type of a leadership style. Leading from the middle. Although this leadership style is not new per se, it is only relatively recently that it has become part of mainstream discussion. Leading from the middle is primarily about leading by coordinating the work of team members and by building a consensus among the team. Such a leader encourages honest debate among the team, even facilitates such debates. One of the primary areas of focus of this leadership style is to build a cohesive team by building healthy working relationships among team members. Such a leader also sets the goal and the vision for the organization, but does not give minute or micro directions to people on how to achieve them. Rather, such a leader creates conditions where team members can collaborate, innovate, and deliver. And finally, such a leader may have authority but seldom uses it. Rather, he or she mostly relies on persuasion, suggestion, and even coaching to lead. Leading from behind. This is a powerful leadership style and likely the most difficult to emulate. This leadership approach was popularized by Nelson Mandela, and I want to share a couple of his quotes on this. It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory when nice things occur. You take the front line when there is danger. Then people will appreciate your leadership. And the following is an excerpt from his 1994 autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, in which he says, "I always remember the regent's axiom. A leader," he said, "is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind." These quotes capture the essence of this leadership style. Leading from behind is first and foremost about being selfless, about being committed to developing your team. As with other leadership styles, such a leader also sets the vision and strategic goals, but instead of issuing edicts or providing minute micro directions to the team, such a leader trusts the team to chart the course to the destination, providing guidance as needed along the way. Such a leader creates an environment of trust, candor, freedom to experiment, and innovation so that the team can achieve the overall vision and goal. This type of a leader recognizes the importance of motivating a team and does everything possible to inspire them. Finally, this type of a leader knows that the best outcomes happen only when each team member is thinking, passionate, proactive, taking initiative, and empowered. Again, leadership is a very vast topic, and my intent in this lecture is to introduce you to the various prominent leadership styles in the mainstream. So which one of these is an effective leadership approach? In the last 2 decades or so, there has been a clear preference for leading from behind and leading from the middle leadership approaches. For the reasons discussed in this lecture, these two leadership styles are much more conducive and effective, not just for agile organizations, but also in general for most modern companies that rely on knowledge workers to produce products and services.